Imagine being the best player on the court and still losing. Imagine having the talent, the skill, the intelligence, everything needed to win. Yet every time you step onto the court, you find yourself alone. This is the story of a boy who was called a king, not because he ruled, but because nobody wanted to follow him. This is the story of Tobio Kageyama, the king who learned to trust. From a young age, Kageyama was different. While other kids were learning the basics, he was mastering them. His sets were precise, his reflexes were incredible, his understanding of volleyball was far beyond his years. People called him a genius, and they were right. But genius comes with a problem. When you're always ahead of everyone else, you begin expecting everyone to keep up. As Kageyama grew older, his desire to win became an obsession. He demanded perfection. Every pass, every spike, every play had to be exactly right. And when his teammates couldn't keep up, he became frustrated, then angry, then impossible to play with. Eventually, his teammates stopped listening to him. On the court, he was a king, giving orders, demanding obedience. But a king without followers is just a person standing alone. The breaking point came during middle school. Kageyama entered a crucial match believing his talent would carry the team. Instead, his teammates rebelled. They stopped responding, stopped trusting him, stopped following him. For the first time in his life, Kageyama discovered something terrifying. Talent alone wasn't enough, and despite being the most skilled player on the court, he lost. When Kageyama arrived at Karasuno High School, he expected a fresh start. What he didn't expect was to meet Shoyo Hinata again, the same player he had crushed years earlier, the same player who refused to give up. At first, they clashed constantly. Their personalities couldn't have been more different. Kageyama relied on precision, Hinata relied on instinct, but together they discovered something incredible. For most of his life, Kageyama believed his teammates existed to execute his vision. Karasuno taught him something different. A setter doesn't control the team, a setter supports the team. Instead of forcing players to adapt to him, he learned to adapt to them. He began listening, observing, trusting, and slowly the king began to change. The greatest transformation wasn't in Kageyama's technique, it wasn't his serves or his sets or his volleyball IQ, it was his mindset. He learned that leadership isn't about being the best, it's about helping others become their best. The player who once stood alone now elevated everyone around him, and that's what made him truly great. Tobio Kageyama started his journey believing that victory came from perfection, that talent could solve every problem, that teammates simply needed to keep up. But volleyball taught him a different lesson: trust. Because no matter how talented you are, no one wins alone. And that's why Kageyama's story resonates with so many people. It's not the story of a king who ruled, it's the story of a king who learned to trust, and in doing so, became something far greater than a king, a teammate.